Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. It is so good to see you. Wonderful, wonderful. I'm just letting some people come in. I heard from a couple people who had their plans change at the last minute. But while I'm letting people in, I am writing down your names because at the end of our time together, I'm going to be doing a drawing for a free Acasma Quantum Energy session. You all can hear me okay, right? You can just give me a heads up. Yes, thank you. Thank you. There's no way for me to know if there's a problem. So I appreciate your feedback. Let me just put my sage away so I don't burn my paper with everybody's names on it. And I'm just adding names to the list as we go. I like to go old school. This is how we do it in Portland, Oregon. Beautiful. We're just adding names to the list. So if you are here, let me tell you where you are so that you can make sure you're in where you want to be. So my name is Kirsten Hope. I'm an Acasma Quantum Energy Facilitator, Master Teacher, and Grandmaster Dea. And this is the Acasma Quantum Energy Foundations Q&A. I do this every time before I launch a new edition of Foundations because I know that it feels good to have your questions answered, right? It feels good to get a feel for this space. And I know there are several people who are what I call Acasma curious, right? My neighbor told me that. She said, Kirsten, I'm a little Acasma curious. I'm like, okay, what are your questions? And I love that phrase. So I co-opted it from her with her permission. And this is a space to explore what Acasma is, to explore and talk about what Acasma Foundations is. AQE Foundations is the way we say that. And to give you an experience of Acasma Quantum Energy live. And then also and it is my absolute glory and honor to be able to gift a free session to anybody, to one person who's here live. And so I see okay, I've got everybody's names in here so far. If somebody comes in, help me notice it. Because sometimes I get rolling and I get talking and I forget to look at everybody that's here. So just for a moment, will you allow me and gift me the space of just looking at you? You are so beautiful. Your energy is so vibrant. And you are already just in your curiosity for being here. Now, we have people at all levels here connecting live and on the replay. We have people who are thinking about AQE Foundations, people who've already signed up but haven't taken it yet. We have people who have completed Foundations and are going to maybe be taking it again. And we have people who are in my Master Teacher program. So welcome, everybody. And what I want to tell you is that your light, you are anchoring these higher frequencies already just through your intention of being here, just through your intention of learning more, of leaning in and trusting yourself. So you will hear me switch into light language periodically. That happens when the energy gets really high in my body, in the frequency, in the state, and the energetic exchange of us. And there are not human words to convey the energetic blueprint that we are running, if that makes sense to you. So sometimes you'll hear me just go, blah, 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 and that's what's happening. When light language comes in, it's so interesting. And I will tell you, as a part of AQE Foundations, it is very, very common for people's light languages to activate. Okay, so if that's something that you're interested, just know that that is a very, it is a space that is available to all. And light language, and also if you see me making movements with my hands like this, that is signing light language. They become these like little keys or doorways to higher consciousness. So if you see me signing like that, something like this, something like that, just let yourself receive. If you want to, if that feels aligned, there's nothing I can do to you. I just want to be clear about that. And that goes into some of the spaces of Acasma Quantum Energy, which I'll talk about in just a moment. I'm not even in my notes yet. This is just the appetizer for tonight. or today, wherever you find yourself. But a cosmic quantum energy is never doing anything to somebody, right? That's not what we do, because we recognize that everybody here, everybody that you're working with, whether you are taking the course or you're thinking about taking the course for self-expansion, or you want to be able to work with yourself or your family or your pets or your friends, or you want to do it professionally, right? Everybody has free agency. So as a Acasma Quantum Facilitators, what we do, what you learn to do through the course, is you learn to become a gateway, a bridge, a portal to higher consciousness. You make it available. We float it in front of them, and then it is up to their higher mind, their higher heart, their conscious heart, their conscious mind, their conscious heart to pick that thread up and receive it. It is one of the most powerful, yet gentle and respectful modalities that I have ever come across. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about me, and I want to get into your questions. So as I said, my name is Kirsten. You can say Kirsten or Kirsten or anything else. I've been a professional energy healer for over 20 years. I think I'm at like year number 23, I want to say. And I practiced various modalities, but there were two modalities that I practiced for the bulk of my career. And so light language came in spontaneously. I didn't know what it was. I've told the story a million times. I'm not going to go into it too much here. But because light language had come into my consciousness and I didn't know what to do with it, in my research, I came across A.L. Garris. A.L. Garris is the origination point of a cosmic quantum energy. What does that mean? It means that a cosmic quantum energy was already here. It has tried to come into our planet multiple times, but humanity wasn't ready for a variety of reasons. But in 2020, it was. And we all know what was happening in 2020, right? We all were inside. We were all internal. There was a lot of fear flowing through humanity. There was a lot of higher consciousness also floating through humanity. And humanity was waking up. We had to. Because 2020 forced us to slow down and listen and come back to ourselves. And A.L. Garris, her name is Andrea, she leaned in and she said yes. And the Acasma team of light started working with her, and it started coming through, and she was doing sessions, and she was experiencing and witnessing these profound healings. And then one of her clients was like, I want to learn that. Could you teach it to me? And that brought us to this point today. And what's so interesting about this is we have all these various increments of us. Increments of our past, increments of our present, increments of our future, and they're all swirling together in this now. And there is an increment of you that was there in 2020, also tapping Andrea on the shoulder, and probably other people too, but she's the one that said yes. So that you could be in this now, leaning in with your curiosity. Isn't that interesting? So anyway, so I found Acasma Quantum Energy, and I already had an established practice. I was already doing my thing. And I thought, I don't need another modality. I was really letting go of the programming. And I think some of you are familiar with this, where you just keep trying to learn things, thinking the next modality is going to fix me. The next modality is going to fix me. And I was like, I don't need another modality. I'm great as I am. But I just kept coming back. And I've heard you say this. I felt home. I felt so seen. I felt so loved. I felt so unconditionally held. And this is what Acasma does. This is what, when you learn to become a facilitator and to facilitate Acasma Quantum Energy sessions, this is what you learn to do. You learn to be that space for yourself. You learn to be that space for your family and your friends and the general public and the world and world events. So I took AQE Foundations, just like you're thinking about doing now, or you're already signed up for, or you've already taken. And I just kept leaning in and kept leaning in. And so here we are today. Sone ikereaka koa. I do have a few questions that I have gleaned from various Q&A spaces, and I've also received a couple of questions. But before we get into that, let me check the chat here, because I see that there is a message. Oh, okay. Wonderful. Yes, CB, if you would do the names and the drawings for me, I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Please put your name in there, okay? Does anybody have any questions right out of the gate? And anything, there's nothing too big or too small about Acasma quantum energy itself. What is it? Yes, Madeline, let me bring you on. Hold on a second here. Hello, beautiful.
Hello. Yeah, I got two questions that popped out of my mind. Of course, the mind has to, get involved.
We love our minds. They're
Yes,
beautiful.
don't we? So I'm a little bit familiar with Reiki, and I was wondering the Reiki energy versus the Acasma energy, if you could talk about that.
Absolutely. So I am familiar with Reiki. I was attuned to Reiki many years ago, but it's been a long time. So I'm not going to speak to Reiki specifically because I think your question it's a really beautiful one. Thank you for bringing it to the space. But it is a common question. How is Acasma different from Reiki is a very commonplace, but also this or that or the other thing. So there are you guys, we live in the best time of humanity. There are so many beautiful healing modalities out there right now. It is just absolutely mind-blowing. Where I can tell you from my experience with Reiki or any of the other modalities that I know of that sets Acasma apart. Okay, it does a lot of the same stuff, but there are a couple of additional layers that Acasma brings to the table that I have not seen anywhere else. Doesn't mean they're not out there. You get me, right? But I don't know about them. And one is it establishes the human's root lines. Okay. So what does that mean? It means that we were born inherently as a human species to have root lines that connect into our earth plane. But over thousands and thousands of years of living as humanity, those root lines have become disconnected. And the resulting of that is that it can become difficult for our human structure to hold higher frequency flow states. Now, I can speak to this from my experience with some of the other modalities that I used to practice, because one of the things that, yeah, it was great for business, to be honest, but I know that my clients found it a little frustrating, which is they would come in for a session or they would have a session and they would feel great for a few days or even a few weeks. But then eventually they would find themselves back in that same space. And it's not because they were doing anything wrong. It's not because they weren't enlightened enough or anything like that. It was because their body wasn't able to hold the higher frequencies. And so it would go back to their original set point. So that's one of the key things about Acasma is it establishes the root lines. And that's huge because as your body is able to hold higher frequency flow states, it's able to live at a higher optimal health and well-being state, whether that's physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual. And that also leans into the space of Acasma because it is a healing modality, right? Different, but also a healing modality like many other healing modalities, but it's also an ascension modality. And that's a really key difference. The humanity as a whole, we are ascending. Whether it's Susie Sue or Joe Blow at the end of the street in a tavern, drunk as a skunk, completely unaware, or a Buddha meditating in the Himalayas, everybody's ascending. It doesn't matter how aware or not aware they are. And so part of that ascension is the body beginning to shift and change and hold higher frequencies. And our consciousness is running higher frequencies as well. And so what Acasma does is it assists the human with not only holding and running higher frequencies in their physical structure, but also a mental and emotional structure. It reconnects the human to their I am presence. So the I am presence is the space of you that has existed across all time and space continuum. It's a space of you that came into this earthly body that was before you even knew you were human. Before anybody said, you're human, you're a man, or you're a woman, or you're a daughter, or you're a son, or you're a teacher, or you're an accountant, or you're an artist, or you're a singer, or you're a songwriter. All these spaces, you're a nothing, you're an everything, you're a winner, you're a loser. All these spaces of habituated storylines. There's a space of you that is so much more than you, that. Those are like little fleas. Yeah. And so what Acasma quantum energy does is it reconnects you to the origin point of your I am presence. And when that happens, you begin to, and it makes it more accessible and easy to live within the state of that origination point of moreness, that you are eternal. Yes, does that answer your question?
Does. Thank you. I got another one
It
though.
was so good. Thank you for asking it. It's actually one of my questions I have on my list. So you're already reading my mind, Madeline. So-
Right. Well, you might be answering the next one as well later,
Right.
but there we go. So, my mind was also curious about if there is a level that where this Acasma is coming from, like a dimension or a frequency level, like the mind likes to put numbers on. Like people are
You mean,
talking
is it
about
5D or 12D and that kind of stuff?
12D, 90, whatever. Yeah. Is there
Yeah,
like a level like that or not?
it's a really great question. And what I love that was baked into your question is the wisdom that you are, because you actually answered your question in the question. You're like, I know the mind wants to categorize. And the reason that the mind, it's not a bad thing. The reason that your mind wants to be like, okay, what dimension does it come from? Or any other way that somebody's mind might be reaching, it's because a cosmic quantum energy is so big and it's so vast. And as humans, we're not taught to sit in vastness. We're not taught how to sit in the unknown. We feel safer in familiarity. And that is why your brain is wanting to categorize what dimension does this come from. It's a really good question. Give me just a minute to connect in with that answer. What I will say is Acasma moves beyond any and all dimensions that would even be recognizable to the human mind. It goes all the way back to prime consciousness, which is beyond all the levels of dimension. It can't be boxed in that way.
Right. Yeah, I like that. Thank you.
Does it such great
Perfect.
question. Please bring more. That was really good. Really
That's
good.
That's
And
all I had.
go ahead.
Oh, that's all I had. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. That was so good. So good. And Madeline, she's so smart to ask these questions, because I think everybody can relate to the sensation of trying to find something to hold on to, right? Because we've been taught to do the pros and cons list. Our brain has been taught to make sense of it. And what I love about Acasma is, and I'll speak for my own self, there's some people here who might want to speak of their own experience, but for me, it's always asking me to lean into my edges and rest and trust and lean in more. My edges were exactly like that. I wanted to know what it was, how it worked. Was it like this? Could I do it with, I would send poor Andrea these bullet lists of questions. Well, what about this? And what about that? What about this? Because I was so uncomfortable in the vastness. And here's why. And there's lots of reasons why. This is one of many, of course. And that is that we have been taught that we are small. We have been taught that we are the category. We have been taught that the categories are the space of safety. We have been taught that being able to explain and put words around something legitimizes it. But what you are learning here through this space of the Q&A, through cosmic quantum energy and all the spaces that we offer, and there's so many, and I'll talk about those in just a minute, is that every time, and I'm telling you this as your teacher, every time I think I know Acasma, I realize how much I don't, because it's so much more than even that. And I'll like move into a next space of understanding. And I'm like, yes, oh, I can't wait to teach this. It's going to blow everybody's mind. This is it. And then the next day I'm like, oh my gosh, and it's so much more. So get ready for your mind to be blown. And one of the things I want to talk to you about with Foundations itself, because there's something about this class that is like no other class. No other class that I have found mirrors this exactly. And that is through AQE Foundations, and with everything Acasma, it starts with you first. Everything starts with you first. You learn how to facilitate sessions for yourself first. You learn how to love yourself first. You learn how to trust yourself first. You learn how to hold space and neutrality with yourself first. Why is that? Because that's what we need. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're craving. And when you learn how to lean in and trust yourself and listen to your intuition and listen to your internal compass, and you can learn how to connect in and live in the space of your I am presence, when you lean in and you look for what's right, which is what we do as a cosmic quantum energy. Another way, this is speaking to you, Madeline, another way that is a huge difference of Acasma is that, and I'm not saying this to diss any of the other modalities, okay? Just please hear me in that. There are so many modalities and they have their time and their place, okay? Where they are looking for what's wrong. They're looking for what needs to be fixed. And if and I use this example a lot, if I have a broken leg, I want to go to a doctor who's going to do an x-ray and look at my leg and figure out where my leg is broken. That's perfectly fine. So we're recognizing that there is a space, and for every space on the continuum. And with that said, a cosmic quantum energy, we always, as facilitators, teachers, etc., are looking for what's right and amplifying that, because that raises your frequency. And as your frequency raises and your body is able to hold that higher frequency, anything that is vibrating at a slower frequency will fall away. Because if we're focusing on what's wrong, we're just going to get more of what's wrong. And that is why when you come across Andrea, you come across me or anybody else who's practicing Acasma, and you're like, oh my gosh, like I feel so much love. It's because we are looking for what's right in you. And that is our number one focus. I mean, I'll give you an example. I have a tendency to have a lot of typos in my emails and my posts and things like that. It's just where I am right now. And I said something to Andrea about it, and she was like, oh, I love your emails. Now, somebody else could have been like, oh, yeah, you could probably proofread a little bit more. Oh, no, she was like, oh, they're just glorious, you know? And so this is how we are with Acasma. And one of the things that we learn in AQE Foundations is how to do that for ourselves first. How to see what's right with yourself first, because once you know how to do that, you can do that for another person too. Beautiful. Madeline said, I resonate so much with looking and uprising what's right in self and others. Yes, truly, honestly, and I'm not exaggerating. I think that's what every single person on the planet is looking for. We are waking up as a human race to know that looking for what's wrong and focusing on what's wrong and looking for the negative and trying to fix that, that hasn't gotten us very far. Acasma is the next wave of healing. And if you are here and you're curious about Acasma, you are one of the front runners of that wave of consciousness, whether you sign up for the course or not. Just your very act of curiosity is anchoring that space for all of humanity. And then you become an anchor and activation point for other spaces of consciousness, meaning your friends and your family and the people in your swirl. Isn't that amazing? And we do it in 9 weeks. So AQE Foundations, it starts this coming Monday, October 7th. The classes are once a week at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, Pacific Daylight Time. I know we have people coming in from all over different parts of the world. There are always replays available. I do have people signed up for this course who will be taking it via replay the entire time. And that's okay. That is a valid way to learn and interact. But I offer both the live spaces and the recorded versions. In addition to the class space, classes are about 90 minutes. Plan for 90 minutes. I might go less than that, but I'm not known for that. So usually about 90 minutes. And also, in addition to that class space, and each class space is an activation in and of itself. In addition to that, I offer a group session for everybody in the class. So you receive education and healing and expansion and attunement to Acasma quantum energy for the entire 9 weeks. I also provide 3 additional bonus class spaces that are, they're not necessarily core Acasma teachings, but they are a supplement to really help you and support you in your journey of expansion. There's a lot of clearing happening through the heart center. I don't know if you all can feel that. You're anchoring and opening your root lines. So if you can just intend with me, I open my root. I open my root lines. I anchor my root lines. Yasetene, yakakore, yakakane yakoa. Beautiful. Does anybody else have any questions they want to ask or anything that they want to share? If you're somebody here who has taken the class and you want to share your experience, that is welcome as well. Anybody at all have anything they want to say? CB, let me bring you up. There we go. Hello, beautiful.
Hello. I just wanted to share, in particular with Madeline, that taking it multiple times, the ability to retake it multiple times is one of the reasons I love taking the course with Kirsten. Because every time I take it, I'm a new me in that position. And I have heard things I didn't hear previously. It just continues to build the foundation of foundations, just they continue to build together. And as there are new students, the dynamics of each class, you get to learn from what they're bringing in as far as questions they ask. You know, it's definitely one of the most, the biggest reasons I like taking with Kirsten is being able to continually take it again and again. It's not because I didn't get it the first time at all. It's not because I failed in any way. It's just continuing to learn and grow in the Acasma family. Just thought I would share that.
That's beautiful. Thank you for bringing that in, because what you're talking about, and I haven't said this yet, is that for me, when I teach, right? And you take AQE Foundations, whether you complete it all or you take the first 3 weeks and then life takes over or something like that. Once you are a graduate of my course, then you are invited to retake the course for free as many times as you want. And you're encouraged to, actually. And this is another space of Acasma quantum energy, is that when you facilitate a session for someone, or you're teaching a class like here, they are moving, you are facilitating. Remember, I said you're a bridge. So this way, it never drains your energy. I've practiced modalities where I was like, oh, I can only do like 2 sessions a day because I'm so drained. Acasma quantum energy does not drain your energy at all. You're really just holding the line and making a space available. And then what happens from that point forward, as that person connects in with that space, they become a newer version of themselves. And so when they re-listen to your session notes and they reconnect in with their session notes, they take in more. And then they're another new space of themselves. And then they listen again and they're like, I didn't even hear that last time. I was listening to a session that I had done back in August. And I was like, I got to the end, I'm like, that wasn't there before. I couldn't hear it. The version of myself that I was back in August, I could not hear the part of my, thank you, Lucy. I see your hand. I'll call you in just a minute. I appreciate you. And so, and AQE Foundations is the same way, just what CB said. She's by the time she finishes AQE Foundations, she wants to do it again because she's ready for more. She's ready to take it in at a deeper level. And I agree, CB, too, that every class has different people, new people, returning people, different questions. And so I teach differently. I teach the same core spaces, but then there's wiggle room in there, because one of the things that we learn with Acasma is how important presence is. You're never going to get a cookie cutter session or class space. There's going to be some similarities, absolutely. But we go and we flow and we move with the space and we expand and we move this way and that way. And it's just so beautiful. So CB, thank you for bringing that in here. I love it. Yes, Madeline said, she's already like, I think you're reading my note. She said, our timelines change could also make things different. Yeah, we timeline jump quite a bit. We jump timelines, we jump realities, we choose realities. We choose the reality we want to engage with. Intentional living. All right, so Lucy, you had your hand up. Let me bring you in. Lucy, I don't think I can bring you on if your camera's not in, but you can unmute yourself and speak.
She added a thing in the
Thank
chat.
you. Oh, she was clapping. I didn't have my glasses on. Yes, yes. Let me just check my notes because there was a couple questions I wanted to cover. We've talked about a lot of this already. So one of the questions is, what exactly is Acasma quantum energy? And like I said, it is so expansive, but we also do want to have words to explain it. If you're going to be learning Acasma and facilitating it for yourself or other people, they're going to be like, well, what is it, right? So Acasma is this super interesting synergy of an ancient and healing modalities. Okay, so we pull from, and when I say ancient, I mean other lifetimes of technologies that have become dormant in our modern world. It pulls from that energetic frequency, and it pulls from future technologies to assist this now, to assist with our ascension, right? And it draws on these spaces. And as a facilitator, you don't have to actually know, is this coming from a future space or an ancient space? It doesn't matter. We're also doing so much ancestral healing through Acasma quantum energy. We're healing the divine masculine and the divine feminine. We're healing the mother wound, the father wound. We're healing ancestral patterns and belief systems and neural pathways and cultural spaces. And we are elevating them through our existence into a higher vibrational space of connection. Yasatene ikarekokoa. And then we are anchoring that through our physical structure. Acasma quantum energy, also known as AQE. So you could look at AQE as Acasma quantum energy or Acasma quantum expansion. The Acasma quantum energy facilitates the expansion of consciousness within the human and within humanity as a whole. So I have this list. I want to read you this list because I cannot memorize it and I'm going to lose it. So these are just some of the spaces that Acasma helps with. Clearing, so clearing densities, clearing stagnation, clearing belief structures, clearing old neural pathways, resetting your energy system, resetting your belief system, resetting the waters of your body. Acasma quantum energy activates your spiritual gifts and your abilities. We've talked already about the I am remembrance and light language and the root reconnection. So beautiful. We have a beautiful space of every AQE session that assists with inner child healing, past life healing, soul reconnections. It blesses and activates and elevates your auric field, your auric expansion. And there's so much more. It decalcifies the third eye. It balances the masculine and the feminine. There's so many ways that Acasma quantum energy assists with. And that's just what I have human words for. Here's what I see in my students and my clients, but students especially, is I see them kind of coming into this space of authenticity and authentic expression that is so subtle, it almost takes them by surprise. You know what I mean? It's like they're just like, I suddenly feel like I can be me. And I suddenly see the value I offer. And all of these things that I thought were weird about me, or I was told were wrong about me, I'm suddenly realizing have tremendous value, and they're so much fun. The common theme in AQE Foundations is people have a lot of fun. They have so much more fun with themselves, with their lives, with interacting with the world. They understand and they learn how to not get swept away. It's not that we're not human. We all have bad days. Okay, we all have bad days. We all get annoyed. We all, get caught up in moments. That's going to continue. But the spaces of those become so much smaller, so much more infrequent. The spaces that used to feel so much bigger and untenable and uncontrollable were finally like, I don't even want to control it, even if I could. And what that does, the ripple effect in relationships is unparalleled. Because as we become more confident and stabilized in who we are, we begin to learn and practice what's right, and we begin amplifying that in ourselves and in the world around us, the people around us notice. And sometimes they might have words for it, and sometimes they might just change. I've heard from so many of you, and I've noticed it in my own life with my own marriage, ways and spaces that the people and my husband and my friends and family have changed. They're not asking for AQE sessions. I do offer them sessions, but they are changing because they are energy. Everything is energy, right? Everything is energy. And energy is going to gravitate towards like energy. And the stronger I hold my vibration and the more stabilized I am and those higher frequencies, the people and the habituated patterns of living of the people around me, they just naturally rise up to meet me in their own way. In their own way. Because everybody has free will. Love it. Okay, so we talked about that. We talked about Reiki. Thank you, Madeline. One of the questions that that people ask is like, does it work for this? Does it work for that? Can I use it on my autistic nephew or my autistic niece? Or can I use it on my mother who has cancer? Or can I use it on my marriage? Or can I use it on my finances? And what I would say to that is to remember that everything is energy. Everything is energy. And because Acasma quantum energy is a higher dimensional space of energetic frequency, and it meets everybody exactly where they're at, it can be used and offered, and it can assist with everything according to that person's higher mind, higher heart, and free will. Interesting. Madeline said, my father has been calling me soft in a pejorative way lately. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? It's a beautiful space when we can allow a word, a phrase, an identity, a definition to simply float in the space of consciousness without putting a story on it, without grabbing it or rejecting it, because even in the rejection, we're putting our attention on it, right? And so and honestly, I have a kind of a strong personality. I'm called a lot of things. And now I'm just like, okay. And sometimes I'll get curious. Isn't that interesting? Huh. I don't experience myself that way. What makes you say that? Isn't that interesting? Because it's a reflection of the person, right? It is a reflection. Everybody, and Acasma is not the first people to say this, and you all probably know this. I feel like I'm preaching to the choir here, but every situation, every person, every situation, every event is a reflection of our flow. I would love to be called soft. To me, if somebody called me soft, I would take that as the highest compliment because I get called hard. Isn't that interesting? And they're just words. They're just words. But I'll be curious as you lean into that and you find the gift of your softness, as you find the glory and the magnificence of that space of you, because we all have softness, we all have hardness, and we all have the spaces in between. And usually people are just looking to be noticed and loved and safe. And so we offer our love and our safety. Does anybody have any questions about the course or about Acasma Quantum Energy? Okay, let's do a little Acasma Quantum Healing now, and we'll get right up close to the hour, and then we'll do the drawing. I want to thank you all so much. There is still time to register for the course. If you know anybody who is interested, if you have a friend and you want to bring them in, it is great fun to take this course with a friend or a family member. We've had several friends take the course together, several family members take the course together, and it's really fun to see how then Acasma blossoms out into their various spaces of life. So if you would join me by taking a breath, closing your physical eyes, opening your third eye. And you can even say and intend with me, whether you know what this means or not, Acasma Flow. Just say or intend Acasma Flow. You don't need to know what it means or what it does. But since we are here gathering together, talking about AQE Foundations, and we're here together exploring higher consciousness, you're ready. You're ready. Root lines are activating. There's clearing happening through the root center. Somebody's right leg is receiving a blessing and a clearing and a healing. Thank you for doing that. That's anchoring and blessing your family lines, your masculine line of your ancestry. Blessing the steps that you walk, blessing the steps of the masculine as they redefine masculinity in our modern world through the divine masculine lens. Thank you for being that and making that available. Breathe and allow, please. Beautiful. There's clearing happening through the digestive system and the solar plexus. You might feel tension through your solar plexus. Just allow, please. Beautiful anchoring. Just breathe. You're doing great. Your body knows exactly what to do. It's been ready for this. It's been craving this. Yasatene erekokoa. You brought yourself here for this moment in this now. Toshokote. That's how we know there's no mistakes. You can only do this right. Clearing happening through the right breast, the left clavicle. There's somebody's clearing clearing density from the left side of the clavicle. Just keep breathing, please. Third eye is opening. So beautiful. Allow that third eye to open. You don't even have to know what it means. It's not even something that you have to look for. You will know, you will see, you will visualize differently. New insights are dropping into that third eye. I see you all with your heads back, and there's just, it's like drips of honey coming into your third eye. Anchoring the goddess within, allowing the goddess space to rise. Just breathe. There's a ripple of energy happening at the base of the neck, traveling down through the upper spine. Just allow, please. Heart center's opening. Heart center is opening. Beautiful. Just allow. That's wonderful. The energy is so high. If you feel yourself feeling a little bit dizzy or wobbly, or like you kind of want to lie down, you can always lie down if you want to as well. Just allow the space. The frequency of green is flowing through this space. The energy is high. Just allow, just hold the line, please. Hold the line. Green frequency is present here. Toshone yasatene mea kokoa. There is this really interesting little, in the US, we use the word nook and cranny. It's like a little hidden spot. There's somebody is clearing some religious belief structures, and there's nothing wrong with religious belief structures, by the way. Every religion is welcome in Acasma. It is not specific to any religion. And there is one or some of you here who had a little pocket of a religious doctrine having to do with shame of the woman that is clearing through the left side of the jaw in through the ear. You might feel it through your ear. You might feel it through the jaw. It may be coming up to the temple. Just allow, please. Beautiful. Breathe. The energy is rising. If you feel your temperature changing, if you feel yourself getting warm, there's energy flowing out your hands, out your palms, out your fingertips. It's running off the backs of your hands. Breathe and allow, please. Your root lines are so strong. You might be feeling tingling in your fingertips. Somebody here is feeling that right now. Just allow. That's the energy moving. Beautiful way to hold that space, holding the line. Excellent. I see each of you surrounded by it's like shoulder to shoulder around you in 360 of your team of light. They are here holding space as you move through any doubt, any fear, maybe not related to the course, maybe it doesn't have to be, but I get the feeling that somebody's navigating some spaces of, I would call it wonderment. Wondering, what's going to happen? Am I doing the right thing? Does this make sense? Just allow. You know exactly what to do. Beautiful, beautiful expansion through the heart center, through the back. Your veins are being blessed. The blood is being blessed. The walls of your veins are strengthening. It's like a beautiful web of honeycomb. Your soul spaces are being blessed. Your soul spaces are any spaces of consciousness that you have lived that are ready, available, and wanting to optimize and fully integrate their life experience. There's a clear crystal quartz floating in front of your third eye. Just allow, please. It is assisting with the clearing and the balancing of the left and the right cortices, your brain hemispheres. Bringing creativity to the more structured spaces and a little bit more structured to the more creative spaces so that they can interact and complement each other instead of feeling this push me, pull me, right? The push me, pull me is a construct of the mind that you are releasing now. Thank you. Because as you do that, as you are doing that, as it is anchoring now, which you are doing beautifully, by the way, you are making that space a more accessible space for others, bringing in balancing of the brain. I'm seeing water flow from your corpus callosum. The corpus callosum it comes right down the center of your brain. And there's this beautiful sacred water. It starts at your third eye and it's flowing down your corpus callosum, coming down your neck, down your back, dropping into the earth, nourishing and replenishing the earth. Thank you. Thank you for being that. Thank you for allowing. Just breathe, please. Blessing your I am heart connection. For some of you, this is a familiar space, and for others, this is a newer space of amplifying your light through your heart. That's it. Beautiful. Amplifying your light through your heart. Amplifying your light through your heart is an effortless space of consciousness. Because the minute you introduce effort, you're up in your head, right? And so we allow that space to come into our heart and flow that light. Clearing through the sinuses. Breathe. Beautiful. Remembering vast spaces of your wholeness. Remembering the moreness. It's almost like when you look at old pictures of yourself and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot I used to look like that. And you look at these pictures of yourself, and I can see several of you doing this already. You're looking through old photo albums, and you're seeing the little version of you, the little child version, and you're looking beyond that physical structure, and you're seeing that vast, glorious you of soul. I see you, and you're seeing the energetic frequency flow state of wave that is flowing through the now in that photo or those photos. Just allow, please. How fascinating. Acasma never gets old. It's always new. Every single space is new. Every single space of us is new. Every single space of you is new. Thank you for making that available. Frequency of 555 coming into this space as we speak. Yes, Ateneakoa. Perfect flow and balance. Your field and shield of love is being blessed, assisting you in times of fear, shining love in times of peace. Peace and balance is being brought to your throat and your mind. Just breathe, please. Your throat is your space of assimilation. Assimilating the higher frequencies, assimilating the heart and the mind and the gut. Beautiful. Just allow, please. Your body is so magnificent. Your body has been priming itself for this for days, for weeks, for months, for years. And the beautiful waters of your body are being blessed, balancing the divine feminine and the divine masculine, opening and activating your truth, your sovereignty, and your purpose. Feet portals activating. There's light pouring out of your feet. Just allow and breathe. You've done a tremendous amount of clearing for yourself, a tremendous amount of healing for yourself. You made yourself available for these optimized states of flow. And as such, because you were able to be present here, and again, whether you're live or not watching the replay, it still pertains. It is still accessible and available, that you are also clearing for every single person in your family. People that will be born into your family in the future, people who are currently living, and folks and family members who are living in another state of being. It affects them all. So thank you for that. This is how humanity rises. And so I close and I seal this session in alignment with the highest degree of love and peace and respect for you and your journey, for you and your sovereignty, and for you and your truth. So CB, I'm going to turn it over to you and let me bring you on screen. Are you ready to pull a name? Great. Beautiful. If you wouldn't mind pulling a name. And this person is going to be receiving a free one-on-one Acasma Quantum Energy session with me. I will send you an email if your name is picked. I'll send you an email either tonight or tomorrow with the details, and we'll get you all scheduled. Yes, Atenia Kokoa.
Angie.
Awesome. Angie, congratulations. Wonderful, wonderful. I will email you over the next day or so and give you instructions on how to schedule that time together. I'm so looking forward to connecting with you. That is beautiful. Congratulations. And congratulations on everybody for trusting yourself and leaning in and being here today or watching the replay. So just a reminder, this is where I have to say all the things. So I just want to stay in a Acasma flow the whole time. AQE Foundations begins on Monday, October 7th of 2024. If you're watching this later, check my website because I'm offering AQE Foundations periodically throughout the year. And if you have any questions at all, please email me or comment on the video. My email is Kirsten@KirstenHope.com. Does anybody have anything else they want to say or share or ask before we end our call tonight? Anything at all? Okay. Beautiful. You're welcome. It says, thank you all. Much love. Thank you, beautiful Kirsten. Thank you for creating the space. Absolutely. My pleasure. hopefully I will see everybody here again on Monday. And I look forward to seeing you then and answering any questions that come up even later after the space is closed. Feel free to email and reach out. I love you all so much. Thank you for being here. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. It's always hard to say goodbye. I love you. You are so loved.